things have been really crazy lately, so I haven't been making videos even though we've been doing a lot of stuff. So first, the earthquakes happened, and so my kindergartner, he starts school back next week. He hasn't been in school at all, and so we had a meeting today at the school and found out that the cafeteria failed the inspection. So even when he starts back, they're going to only be going from 8 to 1. And then they're going to be working on addressing the issue of the inspection. And if they can't finish it on time, they're just going to be bringing in lunches from other schools, I think is what it was. The meeting was completely in Spanish, so some of it was hard for me to catch, but so yeah, he'll start back next week. So he's been home with me for 2 months. It's crazy. And then we found those 2 dogs, and we worked with the foster club. We were moving out of our condo, and we're at an Airbnb now, and it's all furnished, so we couldn't have dogs having potty accidents and chewing on stuff at an Airbnb. It's one thing if it's our stuff, it's another thing if it's somebody else's stuff. So we paid for their vaccinations and sterilizations. We didn't have to pay for their sterilizations. They could have gotten flights to the States, and then the shelter that accepted them could have done that, but we just didn't want to take any chances with having a non-sterilized boy and girl, even though it's kind of weird that, like, they didn't really hump each other. They just humped our dogs, and our dogs were fixed, but we still didn't know what they were doing when we weren't home, so just to be safe. So yeah, we ended up spending about $400 on those 2 dogs combined, and then we donated some money to the foster club, and then they covered the flights and the crate and matched them. Like they used profiles that we created to apply to different shelters that in different adoption groups in the state. So they were accepted to a place in Florida, and yeah, I'm assuming they are there now. I mean, I'll probably be notified when they're actually adopted, but at least they're in a place that, like, all the shelters here on island do euthanize, so they have a much better chance of having a successful adoption in the States, and they're actually together. They went to the same shelter, so that was really cool. And then we moved out of our condo. So we sold our condo because we thought that the HOA fees were ridiculous, and just kind of the management of the building in general. We wanted to be more responsible, accountable for things like the water cistern and how the power was being created. We would like to go with solar and wind instead of just diesel. And then there were just things that were annoying us, like things were taking a really long time with developing the dog park and the playground and the social club for the swimming pool. So then, yeah, we've been shopping for homes since maybe October or November. So yeah, it's been months, and we have driven around the entire island. So there's a school, and it's Valentine's Day, so they're apparently having some sort of party, and they're just having a good time. Like, there's music, there's screaming, there's cheering. They really like Valentine's Day, I guess. But yeah, so we are in an Airbnb, and we have driven to San German, Cabo Rojo, Atillo, like all over the place, thinking about where we want to move. We've been under contract on a house two in San Juan. One was in Caimito and one was in Santurce, and both of those ended up not working out. One because he was just asking way too much money, and it's still for sale. and the other kind of similar in that, well, not really similar, I guess. But yeah, it was just going to be too expensive considering that it needed $50,000 and 3 months of work to be a livable space, because it needed a completely new roof. And that was that. Even if we spent $50,000 and 3 months of work, it still needed additional work to really be something livable, because it was an Airbnb, so it didn't have closets. That truck is loud. It didn't have like power generator or water cistern, so yeah, we were gonna spend $150,000 on an 1,100 square foot, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. That eventually would need new everything, like new flooring, new cabinets, new appliances, new roof, and it only had no joke, less than 100 square feet of yard. So we were thinking that it was going to be a temporary thing, like, $100,000 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bed house, maybe put $20,000 worth of work into it, live in it for like 2 years, and then buy some land outside of the city. But when we realized just how much work and time it needed, we're like, let's just skip that step. Let's just consider getting outside of the city now. So that's why we've been driving all over the island, and we found a little hidden gem that I'm surprised nobody's even told us. Like, it doesn't seem to get a lot of attention. It's kind of a little farming and fishing isolated area. It's called Islote. So we made an offer on about an acre of land, and it was accepted. We're not under contract yet. We got to see their this seller disclosures and complete all the paperwork to get under contract. So yeah, we're looking into building a home. So we've been having meetings and doing a bunch of research on prefab homes, container homes, just building like a shell out of concrete. So building a concrete house from scratch is about $150 per square foot. And so yeah, like we also looked at a property that was for sale in Islote, and then we made an offer, and they hadn't decided because it was an inheritance thing. So all the kids had to decide if they agreed on our offer. And then they said, well, I don't know if you can mortgage it because it's possible that this gazebo in the backyard is on the septic tank. So it's been listed for like 3 months, and they still don't know. And so that's the kind of stuff that you see here in Puerto Rico. Something will be listed for like 3 months to 9 months, and then you actually view the property, you ask questions, you try to buy it, and all these problems come up. Things like the roof being completely rotten, like all the wooden beams of the roof. I'm not just talking about the shingles, like the entire roof of that San Jose house needed to come off. It was terrible. Or things like property disputes. We viewed land where the person selling it said, oh yeah, this is an easement, and then we looked into the so this is where your driveway would go, and we looked into it, and that was a different plot of land. He did not own that land. It belonged to somebody who lives in the States who has done nothing with the land, but the neighbors have tried to buy it from them, and they won't sell it. And then things where people just argue over what to do with the property. We've been researching a lot of like tiny house designs, container home designs. So the smallest we've lived in as a family was when we lived in southern Florida. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and I think it was about 1,200 square feet, and it had a carport, and that was actually plenty of space for us. So we think 900 to 1,000 square feet would be fine for us, and then anything smaller than that would require some creativity. But we don't mind having like really tight bedrooms and like using space under beds to store stuff. But you know, if we have an acre of land, we could set up a container or a shed or something that we basically use as a storage unit. So Islote is cool because it's just relaxed and it's really beautiful. Like it's just right on the beach. The land is not right on the beach, but the community is right on the beach, and so the land is pretty close to the beach. Like maybe a tenth of a mile from the beach. Maybe even less than that. It's really close. So, I mean, maybe that'll be our new normal. We gotta get psychometric evaluations for the kids to apply to different schools. So we're gonna apply to schools in the Adio area. So there's 2 schools out there that we're excited about. I think they're both Christian schools, or one is actually Christian school and one is a university school system that says that they teach Christian values. So we'll see. Right now we're in a small Airbnb, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It's a 40-minute walk to the office where we, in the area where we used to live.